Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you've never been with me before, you don't know what it is that I do here. I am a love coach for women who want to stay and reconcile after infidelity. You've been cheated on, you have been through a trauma, but this is still the person that seems worth it to you. This is the person that you love. This is the person that you want to be with. And you don't want to have to let the relationship go just because they were an idiot and cheated. All right. I am here to tell you that absolutely it can be done. You can indeed get back together, reconcile, forgive, have a wonderful, happy, productive relationship. And I know that because it's happened to me. I was cheated on. My husband and I have been together for it'll be 22 years um no, 23 years in October. And he cheated for like the first 4 years of the relationship. We got through it. We were able to get to a different plane, get to a much happier, much more calm place. And I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can do it. If this is the person for you, if this is the person that lights you up, if this is the person that you believe your love story is supposed to be with, I am here to help you do that. I am here to help you accomplish that. I am speaking to you from the other side. I am visiting you from your future. I know that this can be done. I know that you can do it, and I know the way. So I need you to come on with me on this little stroll down the healing path after infidelity today, okay? So, first things first, and I'm always going to tell you every time we get together, every single solitary time, I want you to be doing your deep breathing. Have you been doing your deep breathing? I need to ask you that every week because I want you to understand how important it is. When you are doing your deep breathing, you are fighting back against the trauma. Your brain and your body have an automatic thing that they do after you've been traumatized this way. And you've got to overcome that. You've got to actually jump on top of that reaction and say, no, I am actually safe. I want to reconnect with this person. I don't want to keep on feeling anxious and hurt and angry and upset with this person anymore. Your body and your brain are not going to be thrilled about that. But if you can do the things inside your body that tell your body that you are actually safe, your body will cooperate with you. Calm on down. All right. So the first thing that you can do to do that is do your deep breathing. I need you to be doing this five times a day. This needs to be a consistent practice. You doing it one time when you are feeling anxious doesn't do anything for you. But when you do it consistently, when you are working on your deep breathing five times a day, set an alarm. Make sure that you're doing it on a regular basis. Your body will come to expect you to do that. And so it will start to be calming down and it will be consistently pulling that anxiety down from way up in the air down to a level where you can manage it. All right. So we need to be doing this five times a day. Don't forget, you need to be doing this. All right. But our deep breathing technique, what we use is 4-7-8 breathing. What we do is we blow out, get out all that excess carbon dioxide that is in our lungs, because when we are traumatized, when we are anxious, we build up carbon dioxide that makes our bodies feel like something is really wrong with them. Then we inhale for a count of 4. Inhale through your nose or through your mouth, doesn't matter. Hold that breath for a count of 7 so that your body has a chance to actually use some of that oxygen you just breathed in. And then blow out for a count of 8. And we're going to make the noise when we're blowing out. We want that sound to be a trigger to our brains to tell our brains that, hey, we are calming down now. Everything's all right. This is okay. I'm not in any danger right now. All right. So if we do this consistently, we are going to feel better. We are going to take ourselves out of that fight or flight mode. We are going to take ourselves out of that emergency traumatic response and get back to responses that can actually get you to a better place in your relationship. Because I'm sorry to say that the trauma responses are not good for a relationship. So if you want to get back to loving and being open and being happy in the relationship, you're going to have to work on the traumatic response. Okay. All right. So we're going to do our deep breathing together. You all join me for a little deep breathing. Why don't you? Um, Blow out, inhale for 4, hold for 7, and blow out for 8. All right. First things first, blow out. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you're doing your deep breathing? Does it feel good? Do you feel like your brain has got a little bit of energy? Do you feel sleepy? There's all sorts of things that happen when you first get this oxygen back into your system and start doing this deep breathing regularly. Let me know if you've been doing your deep breathing. How does your body feel when you're doing your deep breathing? Using your brain and your body to overcome this trauma, that is key. That is exactly what you're going to need to do to be able to pull this off. You've got to know what your body is doing, and you've got to know what your brain is doing, and then you've got to get back in control. All right. All righty. Now, I always want to mention that first, but I want to remind you that this upcoming week, Monday, starting Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am doing the Tricky Triggers Challenge. We are going all week, people. We are going every morning, about a 15 to 20-minute lesson every morning about the triggers, where they come from, what you can do about them, what they are for. I am going to break it down for you. If you are dealing with the triggers and they are messing with you and your body is all in fight or flight and the breathing is not doing it for you and you just need to figure out how to get past these triggers, you need to sign up for my Tricky Triggers Challenge. If you're watching me on Instagram, it's in my bio. If you are watching me on YouTube or on our Love After Cheating group, go on up to the pinned post, click the link, join in the fun on the Tricky Triggers Challenge, because it's an entire week of learning how to deal with the triggers, and we do prizes at the end. So you can't lose. You are going to get excellent information about how to start to heal your heart, how to manage those triggers, the M of the dreams formula, how to manage those triggers and make sure that they don't take you down and mess up all your progress as you are trying to heal and reconcile. I am here for you. We are going to do all week long lots of challenges to be able to start working on this, getting those triggers under control, figuring out what your body is doing and getting back in control of it. All right. So I want you to join me for the Tricky Triggers Challenge. Please go ahead and sign up for that. All right. All right, y'all. Second thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together, I need you to do your journaling, okay? If you're not doing your journaling, you are doing yourself a disservice. If you are traumatized, doing your journaling is an excellent way to start to come up out of that, to write down and to deal with the feelings that you're feeling, to write down all the questions that you've been asking that you've already gotten the answers to. All sorts of good things can happen when you start doing your journaling. Now, I need you to do your journaling a couple of times a day. If you can start to make it be twice a day, first thing in the morning and right before you go to bed, you're going to train your brain that no matter what happens during the day, I'm going to be journaling about it eventually. So I may not even be able to process it in the moment, but I will have time to sit down with my journal a little bit later on or in the morning, and I will have a chance to process that. It's a little bit of self care. It helps with your body and your brain in this trauma reaction, and it gives your brain something to look forward to instead of sitting there stressing about a thing all day, whatever it may be, whatever part of this devastation that you're dealing with in the moment. Instead of your brain being focused on that and stuck on that all day, you can tell your brain, hey, we're going to journal about this later. We're going to have some meditation. We're going to have some quiet moments. We're going to talk about it. I have other stuff to do right now. We are needed elsewhere right now. So I promise you, brain, we will come back to this when I go back to journal later on tonight. You can train your brain to put off the breakdown until you've got a chance to sit down and work with your journal, okay? You need your date, your time, your level of anxiety every time you journal, okay? Date and time first thing, write that down because you will find out much more about your triggers. You will find out things that are going on that you're not totally clear on because you're traumatized, because your brain is not functioning at its best, but you wrote it down so your brain will be able to figure it out later. Okay. You are telling your brain what you need it to do, and that is healing. That is a healing action for your brain. So we're going to be doing our journaling at the date and the time, so we know these key things when things happen, and then we're going to do our level of anxiety before we journal and after we journal. 0 to 10. 0 is no anxiety whatsoever. Everything is wonderful. All is right with the world. Put a big gold star on those pages. Let yourself know that those days do exist where you're fine and everything is okay because they do exist. I know when you're first getting past D-Day, it seems like you'll never have a day like that again. I promise you, sooner than you think, you will have a day where you realize, like, oh, all day long, I wasn't feeling anything weird. It's going to come to that, all right? And then a 10. A 10, you have definitely felt. A 10 is a loss of control. A 10 is I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. Okay. It is a loss of control. It is throwing things. It is screaming at the top of your lungs. Maybe getting the police called on you. You are out of control of yourself if you're at a 10. If you are not out of control of yourself, if you're able to sit down with your journal, if you're able to write it down, you're not at a 10. You are not at a 10 at that point. You maybe a 9. Indeed, but you are not a 10 then because you have not lost yourself. You're not throwing things at his head. You're not breaking stuff. You're not doing all that. So you are still in control of yourself. So you're not at a 10. We need to know this scale from 0 to 10 so that this anxiety cannot get any bigger than a 10. It can't be a 20. It can't be 100. It can't be Godzilla like. It can only be 0 to 10. And that is a tight fence around these feelings so that they do not get so big that we can't comprehend them, can't handle them. Okay. So 0 to 10, that's as bad as it can possibly get. You have lost it if you were at a 10. All right. I don't care what kind of journal you use. This one is just Think Like a Queen, but it's just plain pages on the inside. Got my Golden Girls journal from Five Below. Look at that. Look how adorable. Got the little head sticking out and everything. Gorgeous. It doesn't matter what you write in, just as long as you're writing and doing it consistently at like particular times of day. Tell your brain, hey, we know it's about time for us to do this journaling, and the thoughts will start pouring out of you. You'll be able to fill up a page in that 5 minutes that you're going to be journaling. Okay. Journal, journal. Third thing that I'm always going to tell you every time we get together is to cultivate an attitude of gratitude. I want you to be thankful. Okay. I know that being cheated on is not something to be thankful for. However, you can find a reason to be grateful for almost anything. And when you do that exercise, when you stretch your brain and you tell your brain to look for things to be grateful for, it takes it off the trauma informed task of trying to look for bad things. it distracts it from that particular job. You are looking for things that you are going to be grateful for. It's the same way you're like, oh, I'm always seeing a blue truck because I'm driving a blue truck. Your brain will pick out what you are assigning it to find. So if you assign your brain first thing in the morning to find things that you are grateful for, that's what you will look for before you look for the negative things. And we need that when we're trying to heal, when we're trying to reconcile. We need our brains to be healing up and going towards the positive. In its automatic state, it will automatically loop back around, talking about bad thing after bad thing after bad thing, and it'll get stuck. And it will keep you trapped there because your brain is like, well, if we keep her trapped right there, then that means that she won't be hurt by anybody else. But that's malarkey. That doesn't mean anything. That is not real. Your brain is just making that up. Okay. Because it's painful not to be connected with your honey anymore, too. So if you're hiding yourself away because your brain is telling you that you're not safe anymore, you can't make human connections, that's not going to be good for you. You're not going to be happy and safe doing that either. All right. So we've got to think of things that are positive for us, good things, things that we are grateful for, because that kind of short circuits that instinct of your brain to look for the negative thing. And grateful, it's hard to argue with grateful. I am grateful for all this technology. I am. I think that this is just fabulous that I can be on the internet and talk to the whole wide world and tell everybody I know about how to deal with this. I'm grateful that these things exist now. Now, my brain could be mad that, oh, well, you had to get cheated on for this to happen. Yeah, that's true. However, there is something good to be found in everything bad. And if you start looking for that silver lining, if you start looking for that thing to be grateful for, even in the worst things, it will start to appear. You will start to see the good thing that came from the bad thing, even when you're in the midst of the bad thing. So, got to get this as a habit, consistently telling your brain that you want to find the things to be grateful for in the day, and your brain will do it. Your brain will do what you tell it to do, but you have to be consistent and you have to be sure that that's what you want. And if you do this consistently, your brain will start to change. It will start to heal from the traumatic response that it had in the first place and start to look for more positive ways to respond. All right. All right, last thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time we get together. Oh, and if you've got anything that you want to tell me that you're grateful for, feel free. I don't see anything on Thirsty Thursday, but I would love to hear all the good stuff that's going on in your life, the things that you're grateful for this week. Let me know what they are so I can shout you out, okay? All right. Last thing that I'm always telling you every time we get together is to stop asking all those questions. I promise you there's no healing to be found there. Your brain is telling you that if you ask all the questions and you get all the answers, then and only then will you be able to heal. That's where the idea of that full disclosure comes from. A lot of the experts will say, well, if you don't have this full disclosure, then you'll never be able to heal. You might as well just leave him because he's not giving you that. And so then the relationship will never work. I am here to say that you're not ready for all that. I am going to tell you right now, right here, if you are a little bit ways out from D-Day, you're not in the mental state to get all the answers that you want. Okay? You're just not there. You will have a much more difficult time healing if you ask all those questions and if you get all those answers. All right. Asking the questions is one part, that's damaging enough. And then hearing the actual answers, super damaging. Okay. Don't do it. If you can resist it, if you can hold yourself back, it is much better for you not to ask all those questions, not to expect full disclosure right off the bat. That's going to come in time. We are talking about something that's traumatic to you, but also is traumatic to him because somehow or another, this bad idea seemed like a good idea to him. he is in trouble. He is having a hard time if such an awful idea, something that he knows is going to get caught at, something that he knows is wrong. He's seen it a million times before. He knows that, and he did it anyway. So he's not in the shape to even be able to answer all your questions right now. Everybody is in an altered state of mind right now. That is what's happening. So the full disclosure and everything, you will start comparing the stories that you get when they're still in limerence to what has when the limerence wears off and they start to tell you about it from a more rational and sane perspective. You won't like that because those stories won't match up, but that's because they're in a different emotional state of mind. And trust you me, none of the answers that you want to get are going to help you heal. They are going to do nothing but cause you more hurt and more damage, because that's not what your brain is trying to do. Your brain is telling you, oh, if I get all these answers, we'll be able to heal then. And I know that that's such a tempting thing to want to believe, but your brain is lying to you. It is lying. That is not why it's collecting all this information. Your brain collects all that information after a trauma to try and make the trauma not happen again. That doesn't mean anything for reconciling, for forgiving, for getting closer again. That has nothing to do with that. So it's lying to you, telling you that if you get all this information, then you'll be healed, then you'll be able to reconnect. And that's not true at all. So we've got to stop letting our brains just tell us what they want to tell us and know what it's really doing. Okay. What it's really doing is just trying to collect a whole bunch of information so that when you get close to him again, it will start lobbing little balls of information at your head, trying to make you leave him alone, trying to make you back away and hide yourself because you don't want to get hurt again. All right. Trying not to get hurt again is just the most pointless activity on the planet, I think. It is absolutely guaranteed as human beings, we will be hurt again. It it is guaranteed. Nobody ever told us that we were going to have a pain-free life. Nobody ever said that at all. Okay? The pain most of the time will lead you to lessons. If you're trying to avoid all pain, you are going to be avoiding lessons that you need in your life. So trying to avoid all that, I understand it's a response that your body has. It is a beautiful automatic thing that it does, trying to protect us. Lovely. However, if you want a relationship, if you want to connect with people, that's not what it's designed to do. And if you do not work on that part, if you do not work on the trauma and then work on the reaching out and the allowing that healing to happen, you're not going to get anywhere. It doesn't matter what question you ask. It will not be enough to get you closure, because closure doesn't come from anyone else. Closure comes from within you. It's when you can accept things. It's when you can come to peace. That's where closure comes from. All right. So stop asking all those questions. All right. You're not getting anywhere. Are you getting anywhere asking the questions? You let me know. Put it in the comments if you are getting somewhere by asking a whole bunch of questions. Or are you like, who is it that said it earlier today? Are you like, what the heck? Are you like Nikki? And you're like, oh, I'm trying to explain to him about the hurt. And you're trying to reconnect like that, and asking him these questions and talking about the pain. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It is not going to make you feel any better. So instead of asking all those questions, all right, your brain will kind of itch to ask questions because it's a trauma response. All right. So if your brain is just itching and you can't make it stop, this is a better thing to do. The and, THEAND, the and. This is an excellent card game. It's 199 questions. It is the healing edition. You can get this on Amazon. Type in the and put it in the search bar. You will find that game. You'll find their whole store. They've got a whole bunch of different games, all different kinds of relationships. Like I have the long-term relationship one too. Excellent questions, way better than the ones you want to ask. Okay. If you need an innocuous question to scratch that itch, to make your brain stop repeating questions over and over again, so we'll just shut the hell up and let you be okay for the evening, this is a little bit better thing to do. So I'll give you a couple of these. Got a whole stack of them over here. Let's see. Pull one out of stack. Look, what I pull out is fill out your own question. That's what I pulled out. All right, one more. Okay. How has our relationship changed over time? Excellent question. Isn't that better than the questions you want to ask? I'm sure it is. You would rather know how our relationship has changed in his mind more than what positions they have sex in. I'm sure you would want to know that. That is a much better question to ask. Another question is, what do you think we misunderstand one another? When do you think we misunderstand one another, and what do you suggest we do about it? One question. That's a good question, right? When do you think we misunderstand one another? And what do you suggest we do about it? I found out the other day, I info dump. I found that word out. Info dumping is like people with ADHD and autism will tell you about stuff. I love to tell you about stuff. That's why I do this, okay? I have very specialized knowledge about this topic, and I have specialized knowledge about other things too. And it makes me happy to be able to talk about those things. But a lot of the time, my husband will take me info dumping as me trying to convince him to do whatever thing it is that I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the thing, right? He's taking it as an instruction, and it's not meant to be that. But men are very kind of literal about that type of stuff. They're like, oh, if you're telling me this, then you want me to do this. And I'm like, no, I just want to talk about it. I just like talking about it. It makes me happy to say stuff about it, tell you about something that I have knowledge about. So, found that out. That's a misunderstanding we've been having. We're working on it. Right? And then another one is, what do you think is my greatest achievement so far? Wouldn't you like to know that? Wouldn't that be a better question to ask? Something wonderful about you, an achievement about yourself? Wouldn't you rather know that than all of these other questions that you have in your head? Are any of the other questions that you have in your head giving you any satisfaction? Are they helping you in any way? Has there been an answer that made you feel like, oh, that makes my heart feel much better right there? There isn't. I know because I asked. I asked all the damn questions, okay? I am sorry I asked the questions. That's why I want to warn you about asking all the questions because I did it and it sucked. It was awful. It was a whole bunch of information I did not need, that did not help me heal at all. All right. It just gave me nightmares. It filled in spots in my brain that I didn't have the information and I asked for it and I made myself have the information. And then that made the whole experience worse. If I can catch people right after D-Day, if I can catch them right as soon as it's happening, right as soon as they've gotten confirmation, that is one of the first things I will tell them is not to ask the questions. Don't do it. It is a trauma reaction. And the sooner you start reacting to the trauma, the more the trauma is going to stick, the worse you're going to feel. Don't do it. Okay. All right. So hopefully you'll listen to me on that. Hey, look, I understand the urge to ask the questions, but I'm here to tell you that it is not a healthy urge. It is not helping you in any way, shape, or form. Okay. All right, y'all. Got that down. That's the basics right there. Now, after the basics, and I told you about the Tricky Sugars Challenge, I always got to come back and tell you about my guide, How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity. Again, pin post on Facebook, over here in my bio on Instagram. Get a copy. Go ahead and fill that out. All I need is your name and your email, and you will be in the running to get my guide, How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity. I went through and created the Dreams Formula. It is everything you need to know about healing from this. This is the bare bones, the basics of what I had all by myself to heal myself. Okay. And I was able to pull it off. And every other woman who follows this beautifully laid out formula figures out how to heal from infidelity. So I want to share it with you. I want you to have a free copy. Go ahead and get that from my profile or from the pin post in the Love After Cheating group. And if you are not in my Love After Cheating group, come join it. Okay. That's where I do everything in there. And that's where everybody knows everything first is my Love After Cheating group. Okay. All right. So got all of that down, all of the basics, and now we got some questions coming up. You let me know if you're here with me right now or you're on the replay. I know that some people are coming on the replay. Absolutely no problem with that. You ask me questions and I will tell you the answers in the comments. If you want to put that hashtag replay and ask me a question, I got you, okay? I will put it in the comments for you. But in the meantime, I'm here now and you're here now with me. Go ahead and ask me whatever questions you want to ask me about getting on the healing path after this infidelity, all right? All right, so I've got Nikki. Nikki was saying, "Good morning. I'd like to know how we can reconnect emotionally and intimacy after betrayal because I'm trying to stay. Not sure yet. Can't believe he made it something to me for so many years. Yeah, or hid it from me for so many years. I think that might have been what it is. He reacts like he didn't do anything. So he's furious at me when I try and explain how do I feel about him and the hurt. So she said, thank you. And Nikki, yes, we that is definitely a good topic to talk about right there. We can break that down. There's a few things to talk about there. First thing, connecting emotionally and intimately after the betrayal. Now, walking through the dreams formula, all right? Just walking through the dreams formula will tell you exactly how to do this. First thing is the D, the decision. You have to make a decision. You have to choose what you want here. You have to get a vision of what you want the relationship to be like going forward and then follow that vision. Okay? It will help you to stay stable. It will help you to feel like, okay, I am making the choices for myself here instead of feeling like the world is just kind of spinning and you're just trying to keep up. Okay. Um, that the decision is key. It's number one. All right. Second thing is recognizing and overcoming fear speech. You got to recognize it first. That's the key thing. Overcoming it is a function of actually recognizing what you're dealing with, but recognizing that this is fear that you're having that is keeping you emotionally and intimately disconnected is what you need to figure out. You need to figure out that that is what's happening. You are feeling fearful and it's causing disconnect between the two of you. You have to decide that you do not want to let the fear run you anymore. And that's a lot of what we're talking about here is getting in control of that fearful reaction, of that trauma reaction. You got to do it. You got to hold on to yourself. You got to do your deep breathing. You've got to do your journaling. You have got to reconnect with yourself. The part of you that is screaming in fear is not you. Okay. You are the thinker. You are not the thoughts. The thoughts are telling you, oh, everything is awful. He's never going to be good to you again. He's just terrible. And this is just a terrible thing that he has done that will never be forgiven. Your brain's saying all of that, but you have every opportunity to be able to do the exact opposite of what your brain is saying. Your brain will default to, oh, this is never going to work. He's so awful. You're so awful. Everything is awful. All right. Your brain will default to that. You can make up your mind to choose a different path and then wrestle with the fear of that choice. It is scary to make this choice. It is scary to put yourself out there, to put your heart on the line for somebody that you love. However, that's what real love is. You put your heart out there. You put your heart on the line for a person because you believe in your own love. Okay? Um, E is evaluating why this happened. If you can figure out why he was feeling so bad that this was a good idea, you're going to feel a little bit more connected to him. If you can understand what happened, that he was in pain and reach for some compassion for that, you'll be able to reconnect a little bit. You'll be able to get a little closer. You'll be able to understand that, wow, this was not about hurting me. This was about him hurting. There's no other good explanation. When I talk about the whys of this happening, sick, sad, stupid, it's all bad. All right. It's all trauma related. It's all loss and grief and pain and bad things happening to you if you're in any of these categories and cheating on your mate. It's a horrible idea to cheat. So you've got to be in a bad state of mind to be able to do it. If you can understand that about him, if you can just accept that about him, that apparently he was in a bad state of mind, he has got himself together now, you all are going to be all right. You're going to be able to reconnect a little bit better. Okay. A is allowing the healing to happen. You have to actually decide all this, wrestle with the fear, find your compassion, and then let the wall down. You've got to decide that you do not want to be protected more than you want love. Okay, that's what you're deciding. If you leave the wall up, you can try and give as much love as you got, but it's just hitting the wall and falling down to the ground and it's not getting to him. And then if you're trying to receive love from him and it's just bashing up against the outside of the wall, it's not getting to you. You have to decide, okay, I'm going to act like a loving couple. I'm going to treat him like somebody that I love and I am close to and who is dear to me. And when you start treating him that way again, your brain starts to see him that way again. And then he starts to realize, oh, this is still the way that she sees me. That's not completely lost. I can fix this. And he will try and fix it. Okay. So that's the allowing the healing to happen part. And then managing those future feelings, the M. Whoo, girl, you got to deal with those triggers. Managing those triggers as they come up. You will want to heal. You will feel good about healing, even though you're a little afraid of it. You'll be understanding him. You'll be letting down the wall. And then something will happen that reminds you of the trigger, which is what we're talking about in the Tricky Triggers Challenge later. But you will find something that will remind you of the pain. It will trigger you. And then you feel like you're back at square one all over again. You're not back at square one. You are absolutely not. You just have to make sure that you pick yourself up. You recognize that that place is a place that still needs to be healed within you because it's still a trigger, and then do something about the trigger. Going to him, trying to make him do something about it is not going to help you at all. It doesn't do anything. He cannot climb into your brain and tinker around and fix the trigger. I wish they could. It'd be great because it's their responsibility because they're the ones that messed it up. However, this is your brain, so it's your responsibility to be able to fix it. Okay. And then S for support. Seeking support. You got to find somebody who will tell you all this stuff, who will remind you of this stuff. And I am here for you, babe. If you want to work with me, I am here for you. Let me know, message me. But I will sit there and work with you on the decision. And I will remind you when the decision is wavering, when you're feeling a little unsure of yourself. I'm going to remind you, no, this is the person that you really love. This is your fairy tale that we are talking about here. You are going for your happily ever after with the person that you love the most on the planet. I don't know if you want to back off of that. Are you sure? Is that your decision? Is that what you really want to do? Got you on that. All right. When you're dealing with the fear, I'm going to pull you out of the fear. All right. I'm going to be like, hey, cut it out. Hey, that's your fear monster. That's your little trauma monster talking in your ear, telling you that you should be afraid. And you should not just walk around in fear forever after a trauma. Just because traumatic things happen to you does not mean that you should walk around in fear of bad things happening to you forever. What kind of life is that to live? Got to overcome that fear, and I'm here for you on that. All right. Evaluating the why. I'll remind you that obviously he was hurting. Obviously, he was not in the best state of mind. He was not doing his best work in this moment. But he's still so special to you that you would forgive him, that you would do it. And you want to remember that compassion for him that makes that easier. Um, allowing the healing to happen. I'm going to remind you, hey, have you been having sex? Have you been going out on dates? Have you been doing and saying nice things to him and not just waiting for him to say it and do nice things for you? You need to work on the relationship. If you're not working on the relationship, it's going to deteriorate. So we've got to allow the healing to happen, let the wall down, get close. Okay. Managing those future feelings. I know all about the triggers, girl. I know all about the triggers. I dealt with them for years. I beat them. Okay. I am here for you for that. Sign up for the Tricky Triggers Challenge and I'll show you all about it. All right. And then the support. Yes. I'm here. I want to support you. I want to do this for you. I don't feel like you should have to continue to suffer anymore. You have done quite enough suffering. I feel like it's time for you to be able to be happy and peaceful and connected and loving and vulnerable again. Okay? But reconnecting emotionally and intimately after the betrayal, a lot of it is physical. If you can remember, our brains and our bodies are working against us on this, okay? So if you want to reconnect with him, go hug him. It is a very, very simple thing that works very, very well. Go wrap your arms around him and tell him, hey, I need some hug therapy. That's the code word for it. Hug therapy. I'm gonna need some hug therapy. I'm going to need you to wrap your arms around me real, real tight and hold me close and make me slow down and make me be in the moment, in my body, doing my breathing, inhaling your scent so I can remember that I actually do love you so that I can get control over my reaction to a trigger, that I can get control over how I'm feeling towards you. It will help you tremendously because when you involve your body and involve your hormones, it's a lot easier to reconnect. You hug for 30 seconds. It's actually 20, but I say go ahead and go for 30. Hugging for at least 20 to 30 seconds releases oxytocin, which is the feel good hug drug. It is the chemical in your body that says, oh, I love you so much. I'm so devoted to you. I want to feel so close to you. The same one that we have when we're holding our babies. Same thing. So if you are holding on to him for 20 or 30 seconds, syncing your breathing with his breathing, inhaling right around here. Put your face right here underneath his ear, along the side of his neck, and inhale the pheromones and breathe and control yourself. You will send your message to your body that not only is this somebody that I shouldn't be afraid of, this is my comfort. This person is the person who, once they wrap their arms around me and I smell those pheromones and that scent on his skin, and I breathe along with him, that he is going to bring me peace. He is going to do that every time. So it is a good practice to get into. Hugging for 20 to 30 seconds, kissing for 10 seconds at least starts those hormones flowing. It's very easy when we first fall in love because all the chemicals are flowing, all of the hormones are flowing. Okay. It's very much like being high on cocaine. It is very much like a drug. Our brains are going off. The reward center is dinging because we found somebody that we care about so much. Got that dopamine going, the serotonin is hitting. I mean, everything is clicking along on all cylinders and we feel it and it feels wonderful. That's that feeling of falling in love, okay? But that's all hormonal. That's all that is. It is not actually like a consistent thing that will last forever. It is hormones and it stops after a certain amount of time. So if you start to hug for 20 or 30 seconds or kiss for at least 10 seconds, you activate some of those same hormones and you start to feel that way again. And it starts to make you relax. It starts to make you feel like you can get closer, that you can connect and get intimate. As far as like real intimacy, having sex again, um, I need you to be really focused on that. Okay. I need you to think about it all day long. I need you to get yourself into the mental space of, I am going to have a really close, intense session with my honey. We're going to be real intimate. It's going to be beautiful tonight. You start thinking about that first thing in the morning, okay? Thinking about it for hours, picturing what is going to happen, picturing how you're going to kiss, how he's going to kiss, how you're going to touch, how he's going to touch, what you're going to feel, how you're going to try and make him feel. Remembering to breathe, to inhale and to exhale, and be present inside your body throughout the day. And then when you're actually getting into it with him that night, being present by deep breathing inside your body, because it will bring your focus back around to your body and not in your head. You won't be thinking so much. You will be feeling more. Okay. Think about it all day. Get yourself all ready. All right. Do the things. Do all of the things. Get in the shower, shave your legs, get all silky, smell all good, all the things that make you feel good like a goddess getting out of the shower. Do those, okay? Change your sheets, okay? Having nice clean sheets to lay on is a good way to start that intimacy again, all right? Once you're out of the shower, I want you to dress in the things that make you feel like you are going to have sex, like you are going to be intimate, like you are going to have a good night. Things that make you feel beautiful, things that feel beautiful on you, things that are silky and smooth and feel good against your skin. You want to be engaging all your senses, like when you're in the shower and you're using the smell goods, when you get out and you put on the silky whatever it is that you're going to put on, you're engaging your senses. You are telling your body and your brain what you want it to do, what you are excited about doing. And so, as you're working up to it all through the day, you can get yourself ready and put yourself into that mindset. And then, when it's time, it's time. All right, we can go ahead and go for it. We can get real intimate, real close, and you don't have to spend as much time trying to get there mentally if you've been working on it through the day. All right. All right. Let me see. Something else you wanted to ask. Oh, he's furious at you when you try and explain how you feel about the hurt. You do not have to explain about how you feel about the hurt. Okay, let me say that one more time. You do not have to explain how you feel about the hurt. He totally understands that. He is not that much of an idiot. He's sort of an idiot. Yes, he is. But he's not so dumb that he can't understand that you're hurting. Okay. You keep trying to explain it to him like explaining it to him is going to make it feel better. It's not. Okay. And then it just makes him mad because he's like, you keep telling me over and over again how I failed you. That's what you're doing. When you're saying over and over again, this is why I'm hurt and this is how badly you treated me, you keep on telling him how he failed you. That makes people mad. You would get mad too if he kept telling you about things that that you've done to hurt him. Okay, you wouldn't like it, so you got to stop that. All right, that it's not helping you. If it were helping, would you have to keep doing it? If it were actually doing something for you, you wouldn't be consistently going back to talk to him about the hurt if talking about the hurt helped you. Okay, I am all about experiencing your feelings, being true to what you're feeling, paying attention, absolutely. However, if you're in pain, talking about the pain, dredging up the pain, discussing the pain, examining the pain, spinning the pain around and talking about it is not helping you not to hurt. It's not doing that. If it did that, I'd say do it. I am all for doing things that work. If it worked and hey, you talked about it and told him how hurt you felt and it actually made you feel better, I would say do it. But you doing it over and over again, trying to make him understand that he hurt you is pointless to you and to him. He knows damn well he hurt you. You don't have to explain that at all to him. He gets it. All right. And you talking about it over and over again is just tearing open the wound. The little bit of healing that the wound is trying to do, you tear it right back open every time you start with this. This is how you hurt me. You keep on refreshing the trauma in your brain. Every time you talk about a trauma, you are re-experiencing a trauma. That's why most people get therapy to talk about trauma. You're trying to take something that should actually be in therapy. If you want to talk to somebody, if you want to talk to a therapist, if you want to talk to a coach, to somebody that understands how to deal with that and tell them about how you're hurting, that might be productive. But inside your relationship, that's not productive at all. That's just, here, you hurt me. You're such a terrible person. I don't even know why I'm still with you. And then it deteriorates the relationship further. And that's not your fault. It's an automatic thing that our bodies and our brains do. However, it's not helpful, and I want you to understand that you shouldn't do it. Okay, that's why I always tell you every time we talk not to ask all those questions. It's the same thing when you're like, here, this is how you hurt me. This is why I'm still upset with you. This is why my heart aches. You are reinforcing in your brain that you should be hurting, that your heart should be aching. The more you talk about it and not actually heal from it, not do anything about the trauma response to it, the more it is going to stick with you. And we don't need that. We want to get rid of this as soon as possible, as soon as humanly possible. We do not want to carry this baggage around with us forever and ever. That would suck. Bag lady, you're going to hurt your back dragging all them bags like that, all right? As Erykah Badu has said, you got to put the bags down. You got to put them down if you want you to heal and you want him to heal and you want y'all to heal together. You can't keep on talking about pain over and over and over again. It is a trauma response. It's not helping you heal. All right. So hopefully, Nikki, you let me know. Did I give you enough information about that? You let me know if there's something more that you need answered about this section, and I got you. Danita said she didn't have any questions for me. She just wasn't able to get here live, but that's all right, Danita. Hi, hashtag replay if you're here on the replay, okay? All right, let's see. Anything else? Can you hear my husband in there cussing at the game, I think? I hear him clear as day. You all might not pick it up, but I feel like he's sitting right here. All right, let's see. But Nikki, yeah, if you want to stay, it's perfectly reasonable, perfectly all right if you want to stay. It's just that you have to start doing the actions of staying. You got to do the actions of, oh, all right, you are here. Hey, girl. Yeah, you got to do the actions of staying. You got to do the actions of, I want to heal. I want to be all right together. What do I need to do to follow through on that path? That is what you're looking for. You are looking for the healing path. You are looking for what is the best possible outcome, and then you behave your way there. All right. That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all the dreams formula is. That's all any of this is envisioning what you want to have happen and then going with the actions that you would have to do to get to that place. Okay. All right, y'all. Anybody got any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints, anything else that you'd like me to talk about? I am here for you. Nikki, so glad you got here. Hey. Let me know. Are you good with that answer about all of that? I talked about a lot of it. About intimacy, about reconnecting and being close again. Just got to do the things that you would do if you were happy with them. That's what the simplest version of it is. Do the things that you would do if everything was all right. If he was perfect, what would you do? How would you behave? How would you feel? try and get yourself into that state of mind and start acting like everything he is doing is perfect and behaving like everything that he's doing is perfect, and he will try and make everything perfect. You just have to, it's like you got to go ahead and believe in something before you can actually see it, you know? All right, y'all. I think I got all the questions that were up here. Don't see any other ones, but you all let me know if you got any others. I am happy to answer. Just go ahead and throw it up here and I will answer in the comments. But in the meantime, I'm going to remind you one more time, get my guide, How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity. Get that. Goes over the dreams formula. Everything that everybody told me would work and didn't work, I tried the opposite. That's what I did with the dreams formula, and it worked. Okay. It worked really, really well. I could always come back to it. It has been consistently the thing that helped me with the triggers, helped me with feeling like my emotional regulation. It helped every step of the way. So pick up a copy. I describe every step. And if you just pick up a copy of the free guide, if you just pick up a copy of How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity, you will have all the basics. If you follow along with what it's saying page by page, things are going to improve. You're going to feel better. The relationship is going to feel better. I promise you, just in that little bit of information about the dreams formula, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel like, okay, I have got a handle on this. How many pages is it? The guide is, goodness, I forget how many pages it is. 17 pages? 17 altogether, going over 6 steps. So it's not in depth like working with me would be. It's not in depth like, we're working one-on-one, but it explains each step of what you're going to need to do to be able to heal your heart, to be able to get past the trauma responses that this trauma has induced in you. You will be able to do that if you get my guide. All right. How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity. Send the bio. It's in the pin post. It's in the group. Okay. And the second thing, Tricky Triggers Challenge starting on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be here. We're going to talk. The first thing is going to explain the triggers. All right. That's the first thing. I'm going to put it down for you so you know exactly what it is you are dealing with. And then all throughout the week, we're going to be working on getting rid of them, being able to cope with them in much better and much more healthy ways than we have been. All right. So I need you to sign up for both of these, but I don't know if you got to choose one. If you had to choose one, I'd say come to Tricky Triggers, okay? Because I'm live. I'm there with you every day. I am spending time with you. After I do my little lesson for about 15 minutes, I will sit and answer questions. We can talk about it, all right? So if you had to pick one right now, I'd say go ahead and get in on Tricky Triggers and we have prizes for that one too. So yeah, if you got to pick one, go ahead and do Tricky Triggers, but I want you to do both. I want you to get my guide, How to Heal and Reconcile After Infidelity, because it's going to help you. It's going to make this an easier path for you to tread. Okay? All right, y'all. Thanks for the love out there. I appreciate y'all. All right, let's see. Last thing that I always tell you about is for you to do your affirmations. Okay? I need you to get on that. I need you to be doing these affirmations on a regular basis. Don't give yourself any excuses. Just do them. Okay? Get yourself a deck of cards. I got a deck of cards from Five Below. You can get them from Etsy. You can get them from all sorts of places. I don't care which ones you get, what you do, as long as you are doing an affirmation consistently. And affirmations are whatever you tell your brain to believe. Okay. You can give yourself a terrible affirmation. You can give yourself the affirmation that nobody ever loved me and nobody ever will. You can give your brain that affirmation. You can affirm that negativity to your brain and make your brain believe it. And your brain will always say, nobody's loved me and nobody ever will. And it will believe that for the rest of your life. You have the power to change what your brain believes. So if you are affirming a good thing about yourself, you're changing it. You're changing what your brain is doing. You're changing what your brain believes based upon the information that you are giving. Okay. So I always get I get an affirmation. Say your affirmation to yourself in the mirror, in your phone, camera, whatever. Look yourself in the eye and say it like you mean it. Say it like it's the most true thing you've ever heard in your life. Say it with authority. Say it like you are meaning it. Say it like you're saying it to your best friend and you want her to believe you with all her heart. I need you to say it like you absolutely cross your heart, hope to die, mean it. Okay. So, that being said, let me give you a little affirmation for the rest of the week. Today, I am brilliant. Today, every idea I have is creative, thoughtful, and full of potential. I love that one. That's a good one. Today, I am brilliant. Today, every idea I have is creative, thoughtful, and full of potential. I love that one. That's a good one. That's a good affirmation. Today, I am brilliant. All right. Because we are. We're brilliant queens out here. All right. So I want you to behave like one. All right. That's how I want you to behave. I want you every day to behave like the brilliant queen that you are and make sure that you are healed and healthy and have everything that you need to be the queen of this story. This is your story. This is your love story. You are the main character. You're the hero. Okay. If this is going to work, it's going to be because of you. It's going to be because you are so brave, so loving, so loyal, so everything that the heroes in the fairy tales are. You are that. All right? Because you are the main character, this can be done, but you have to believe in the magic of your own story. You have to believe in the magic of you being the main character and then carry that through with you through the rest of your life for everything that you're dealing with. Okay. All right, y'all. I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you. You all let me know if you got any other questions. Feel free to put them in the comments. But in the meantime, I think that's about it. So let me say, going over the basics again. Do your journaling, do your deep breathing. Develop an attitude of gratitude and stop asking all those questions. Do your affirmations. And just keep on not doing what the fear tells you to do. Do what the love says, don't do what the fear says. All right. So, in the meantime, I will be back again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour live right here, live everywhere. And in the meantime, I love you. And I'm so, so proud of you for doing this, for choosing love, for choosing forgiveness. Lots of people don't. And I feel like you are um, in desperate need of recognition for the fact that you do. You are one of those people that you've decided that you want to move the entire world along by loving more and forgiving more and trusting more. I think it's fantastic. I think you are an absolutely outstanding woman to be doing it, and I'm proud of you for it. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. I'll be back again next week. But until then, I love you and I will check you out. All right. Bye over here on Instagram. And bye to all my peoples over here on um, YouTube and Facebook. Bye.